welcome back to another episode of Publicized Theory Podcast, the podcast where I talk about self development, self mastery, and concepts that'll help all of us become the best version of ourselves. I am your host, Anthony Ocasio, and let me start off by saying, wow, it's been close to 2 months now of not recording an episode, which, to be quite honest, sounds a little crazy and ridiculous, but nevertheless, we are here and I am recording at this very moment, which I am proud of. And it's something that I've been meaning to do either way. The episode is called The Ebbs and Flows of Life, rightly so, because life is never just linear. There's so many ups and downs to life that may throw you off course, may throw a wrench in anything that you have going on, may just take you away from things that you were doing or things that you want to do, so on and so forth. We all know how that goes. Not to say that the podcast was put on the back burner, but it was something that I did not feel like I had information to relay to the listeners. And I wanted to essentially get back on track mentally, spiritually, and just really fill up my cup moving forward and to end the year. The last few weeks, I have been doing just that outside of working and being caught up in day to day life and the things that my life requires my time, energy, and resources towards. With all that being said, I came on here today to talk about always finding time to work on your foundation because of the simple fact that life does have ebbs and flows. And what allows us to go through those ebbs and flows, those highs, those lows, the ups and the downs, is essentially our foundation and how deeply rooted we are in the things that allow us to be great, in the things that allow us to be the person that we want to be, in the things that allow us to actually live the life that we want to live with the right mindset, the right approach, the right emotional stability, the right gratitude, and all of the things that we want to feel while we're actively doing the things that we want to do. I say it that way because we can have everything in the world that we desire and want, but that doesn't always necessarily mean that we're happy in those moments. It doesn't always necessarily mean that we feel grateful, that we feel appreciative, that we feel fulfilled. And I think that always goes back to the foundation that we create while we're trying to obtain those things or that life. How deeply rooted is our foundation in the things that will sustain us regardless of the things that we do or do not have? Are our foundations rooted in positive emotions, in things that will allow us to be the same person whether we have $10,000 in our bank account or $0 in our bank account? And I think for me, these past 2 months, that's what I've been really honing in on personally and very much so spiritually in terms of my foundation, my faith, my connection with God, my understanding of who I am and who I want to be, and how are the areas in my life impacted by the state of mind that I may be in, the emotional feelings I may feel, and everything that goes along with being a complex human individual like you and me. And I've been working on that foundation. I've been growing my relationship and connection with God deeper, just trying to really craft my faith in a way that is strong, that is durable, that is sustaining, and that will allow me to get through any hurdle that comes my way. Like you, I am not perfect. The whole premise of the podcast was to showcase that I am not perfect, but at the same time, allow us all to become better individuals. Because I don't think striving for perfection is something that any of us will accomplish. I don't think that's a realistic goal. I don't think that's a realistic outcome for any human being on earth. We are all flawed in some way, shape, or form. Does that mean that we are all bad individuals? No. That just means that we have our flaws that make us who we are. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, we have things that we can grow, that we can evolve, that we can develop, and that will make us the person that we want to become. The flaws don't necessarily have to be physical, mental, emotional. It can be a wide range of things, but for me, it always comes back to the foundation that we're creating in our mind, in our emotional state, in our spiritual state. How are we building those bricks in a way that, like I said, will sustain us through the highs, the lows, and the ebbs and flows of life? And for me, I've been working on that the last 2 months because I am in the ebb and flow of my life. where I feel like I've had a great 2023 and I haven't had a amazing 2024. As crazy as that sounds, because I started a podcast this year, I was able to create more content and give great advice and just pour out myself to the world in a positive way. And I think that in and of itself is a great feeling for me at least. But I do have other goals that I want to achieve and I do have other things that I want to accomplish. And I made a commitment to making sure I accomplish those things this year. And unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. And unfortunately, it's been far from it. The last 2 months, I've been really working on building my foundation in my faith and my commitment to being great, a key focus, because I want to understand how I could have been better these last 12 months or 11 months so far. I want to understand how I could have really took it to another level in terms of what I've been doing to become a better person, to reach the goals that I want to reach, and to have a foundation that will take me through anything life throws at me. And my foundation, I would say, is pretty strong. I would say that I'm not rattled by much. I'm similar to you in the sense of I do get disappointed when I'm not able to reach a goal. I do get disappointed in myself when I feel like I let myself down. I do get disappointed when I look back and try to understand the decisions I've made and say to myself, damn, I could have done that better. I should have done this or I could have done this. But then when I always think about it all, I'm grateful for it all because I've learned through it all. And I think that's the best part of it is I come out grateful because I was able to learn from it all. The ebbs and flows of life always and will continue to teach me and you as well if you're able to be real with yourself and have awareness and look back and make an audit of the things that you've done, the decisions you've made. And as I always say in previous episodes, have an open and honest dialogue with yourself. And that's something that I always do continually to make sure that I'm keeping myself accountable. I'm not trying to sugarcoat things in my mind mentally. I'm not trying to cast a reality that is not, in fact, reality. If there's things that I can do better, I want to take full accountability first and foremost and make sure that I rectify anything that needs to be corrected moving forward. I feel like I speak for all of us when I say that is we never want to be in a position where we're wrong and strong. At least I hope not, because it just doesn't help us grow. It doesn't allow us to become better. It doesn't allow us to reach our highest potential, whatever that may be for you and for me. So the last 2 months have been just quite that, building on my foundation, doing an understanding and an audit of things I could have done better, things that I want to do better, and continuing to push through, continuing to, as they say, fight the good fight towards the direction of my dreams, towards making everything that I write on paper, everything that comes to mind a reality, and changing my situation for the better, obviously. Not to say that I'm in a, extremely bad situation at the moment, but I'm not in the situation that I would like to be in. And I think that's the biggest, for me, disappointing aspect of me wanting to understand the last 11 months and how I could have done better and building my foundation and building faith and building better habits that allow me to stay focused, locked in tune with myself, in tune with my abilities to grow, in tune with God, first and foremost. For someone like myself, I've always had a religious background, sort of say. I used to go to church a lot when I was not so young, but I would say middle school onward. But then I kind of stopped going to church in high school. But I think similar to any other thing that we believe in, the universe, spirituality, or a specific religion, it all comes down to ourselves at the end of the day. We can believe in what we can believe in or what we want to believe in. But again, prayer is essentially meditating. Meditating is essentially prayer. Just building my personal connection with God and the Bible and other things that I may be reading, like the Tao. It all comes back to a lot of these books always reference the Bible. A lot of these books always reference God. And that's what I'm leaning more towards to now in understanding the stories that are in the Bible that are riddled in all of these books that I continue to read as well. Building that connection with myself as well. Just becoming a stronger individual, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, as I always try to do each and every day. We've heard this so many times. You have to give yourself grace. Like me, you have to give yourself grace. And I will continue to give myself grace because, as I just stated, we're not meant to be perfect individuals. We will continue to learn, grow, make mistakes, fail, probably fail more. I will fail more. This won't be the last mistake I made, or there will be other years down the line where I don't accomplish the things that I would want. And it's okay. It's okay to have conviction in what you think is right at the moment and learn from it if it doesn't go your way. And when we make that switch to understanding, like, okay, I may make this decision, and if it doesn't go right, I will be grateful for the fact that I've learned from it. I'll be grateful for the fact that I was able to take away something new. I will be grateful for the fact that I was able to evolve. When you approach things with that type of mindset, when you approach things with that type of energy and frequency, a lot of the times you will not have a negative emotion associated with not being able to accomplish something or not reaching a goal that you have, because in the end, you were able to learn and grow and evolve from the situation that just transpired. And you were able to look at your actions, your decisions, your thought processes, and understand why you did what you did when you did it, but what you could have done better that would have allowed you to have the outcome that you wanted. Again, for me, it's just building the foundation, continuing to audit and be aware of the things that I could do better, and moving into 2025 with that energy. Moving into 2025 with still more publicized theory, by the way. I just want to add that the podcast isn't going anywhere. The podcast will continue to be the podcast, and I want these messages to continue to go out on a weekly basis, which will begin again in 2025. But for the rest of the year, I will be continuing to build on that foundation and continuing to make strides in the direction of obviously my dreams, but continuing to get closer to the ideal person that I want to be. And I will be bringing you all along with me on that journey in 2025. So, yeah, I wanted to jump on here and bring you all in on where I am, where I've been the last 2 months, and remind you that the best is still yet to come. Remind you that you're not alone in dealing with things that could easily force you to quit, could easily force you to turn into a different person, could easily force you to think negatively all throughout the day. But what will come of that? Nothing good. So let's all continue to push through. Let's all continue to fight through. Let's all continue to have faith in ourselves that we are more than capable of accomplishing our dreams. It is our right to be wealthy, happy, successful, healthy, everything that comes with the lives that we want to live. It is our right. And remember that what you are seeking is also seeking you. So continue to put forth that good energy. Continue to tap into a positive, uplifting frequency. I will be doing the same until next time, which will be 2025. Continue to go in the direction of your dreams. Do not quit. Do not settle. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed.